Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to another broadcast. I know this is a late one for some of y'all. I just got back in from hiking. Meanwhile, I think I'm gonna have some of this. This is what we sell over on sombertree.com. Give me some coconut water because that was a hike, boy. Well, it was a mini hike. And I'll post some photos and some video, man. It was so nice. But anyway, we're just giving people time to get in on the broadcast here. And yeah, we're just gonna I gotta hit it tonight because tonight for me is gonna be a long one, not necessarily on this broadcast, but I'm also gonna be working on another video that I'm gonna post. It's gonna be late tonight before that one gets up. So I'm pulling a double header tonight. But anyway, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go to our website, sombertree.com. Sombertree.com. I'm just going to give people another minute, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Yeah, exactly what I needed, man. And while you're at sombertree.com, make sure you check out some of the stuff that we got there for bitters. Bitters. I know I need to start back up. I kind of slacked off on my bitters there, but we got plenty of bitters. We got adding chlorophyll to your diet. We got all kinds of seasonings for your food. Natural seasonings. Not the one that you get out of the grocery store where they just slap on a black face and keep it moving. Meanwhile, when you look at the ingredients, they got all kinds of stuff in there. Nuclear waste. All kind of stuff. But we keep it natural here over on sombertree.com. Make sure you check it out. About 30 seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? Just join my non-alcoholic drink. I don't drink alcohol, but ain't nothing beat coconut water as far as I'm concerned. If you're in the chat, welcome. If not, that's all right too. All right, we're getting to hit it here in a few seconds here. All right, let me just finish this off here. So you got to take your time with that because this here it has the coconut bits in it, so you can't just drink it. You got to drink it and chew on them bits. Anyway, let me sit this back here. All right, let's go ahead and hit it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I hope you guys had a great weekend as we're heading into the next week of November. And man, I tell you, this month is going by super fast, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is. After the election, it's just been, for me, it was just kind of like an exhale. Because, boy, I've been hitting it. We have been hitting it on this end when it comes to videos and stuff like that. So it's been something. And so today we went out and Nicole and we went out. I went to show her, it's a nearby river and there's some, we're walking alongside these mountains, real mountains. And, it was so nice. And I took some drone footage and all that. Oh, it was just such the perfect day to do that, man. It just totally love it. Anyway, so that was cool. Now I have some footage to share with y'all in a little bit here. But tonight we are going to, I'm just going to share just some brief news bits. But the main topic tonight is, and I just have some 3 examples. I guarantee you tonight's broadcast is going to be short. I promise you. Okay. Tonight, the main topic for this evening is going to be on talking about this whole notion that we've adopted, this whole ideology that, that getting black faces in high places automatically means progress for all black people. I mean, how many times do we need this example? I mean, to see these examples over and over and over and over and over and over again, where we bet on that, but then it never works. But we keep doing it over and over again. But we keep listening to the same people telling us, okay, well, it didn't work this time. Okay, then we got to do it this time. Well, we look at these other people, they do it, and it works for them. But why? But that means it should work for us. Well, there's quite a few things that we got hurdles that we got to address, that we just seem like we don't want to address these things. I will say this, Martin Luther King, he had one thing I would say is absolutely right on. At least his dream was that we would live in a country that people would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by what? The content of their character. Isn't it amazing how people just overlook that part? I'm talking black people now. I'm just talking black people. The content of someone's character. That this is how we're to judge people, by the content of their character. This is exactly what we talk about here on this platform. I love my people. I love black folks. I don't love all black people. I'll be the first to tell you that, because there are black folks out there that want to end your life. There are black people out there that want to end my life. You understand what I'm saying? That's just what it is. We do all this talking about white people and all these other races and how much they hate us and all this other stuff, but we just don't want to face the truth that there are many people within our ranks that don't like us either. And we have to be willing to face that. And so I'm just going to provide just a few examples of that again, and just how this should, definitely raise some alarms for people on this very topic. But first, again, big shout out to everybody that's in the chat. The Art Gods, did you get I hope you saw me respond. I haven't been in Threema, but I responded to you. I added you. And I also posted a link on there and all of that as well. So the only thing is, like, when someone comes into the group, I'm talking about our research group, all the stuff that we posted prior, you're not going to see it. Not because it's being hidden. That's just kind of how it works. But I will try to remind myself, anything that, I gave you the link. If there's anything else that comes to mind, I'll just do a rewind and post some of the things that you may have missed, but just wanted to let you know. But again, welcome. Really appreciate that. All right. So, and then everybody else in the chat, RJ McKenzie, good to see you. Jennifer Young, good to see you as well. And so anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, this Denzel Washington thing. Now, we've already, I talked about it on the community page. By now you guys know about, Denzel, he looks good, man. Because, he was gaining some weight, man, for a moment, man. But he dropped that weight for that role. He looks good. Looks good. But what ain't good is something that he did. Okay, so there was something in this. There was another part of this story that I didn't get till yesterday with Denzel. And regarding this whole thing with the kiss here. So anyway, so here's the it's Daily Mail, and this is what it says. It says Denzel Washington revealed one of the Gladiator 2 scenes that he that would wound up on the cutting room floor. No, it didn't, because it's going to be on DVD or CD or the extended version or whatever. Ahead of the release of Ridley Scott's $310 million budget historical epic, the 69-year-old acting veteran portrays a slave-turned power broker, Marquinus, anyway, who maintains a stable of gladiators who desires to become Roman emperor. Sorry. And then he said, he already said that. I kissed a man on the lips, but he got cut, And then here we go. So this is the part that I didn't know until yesterday. They said, now a source close to the production is claiming that the kiss was totally improvised by Denzel and not in the script. They said the take with the kiss was also one of several partly improvised takes for the scene in question, the source claimed to TMZ. Previous trend. Okay. And so he said that they chickened out and cut it out. but it kind of lines up because he said they didn't like that. So he was kind of telling you that he improvised it. He put that in there. This wasn't something that, that they made him. He did it on his own. And I know for some of y'all, I'm sorry, our people, man, it's so hard for us to just, when people show who they are, then you better believe them. I understand. I get it. And if you read my post, I told you about, try to express, somewhat of the frustration I had, but coming to the conclusion that this just is the world that we live in. I was trying to express this to my daughter, and bless her heart, I don't know if she really, really understands. She's younger, and maybe that's part of it, but I was really trying to express to her, just the disappointment, when I was talking about between that and then this thing with what's his face, Tyson, him showing his whole behind, all of that, and just seeing, and then that compiled with the whole, what we've seen in the elections, with them constantly going after black men, and they still doing it. I say it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in, and it's just a lot. It's a lot that we, particularly as black men, we have to face and we have to deal with. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not sitting up here, like I said in the post, I said, I'm not asking or begging or putting in a request in for anybody to break out the tiny violins, because keep them, because they don't help us. Okay. They don't help us. You can have a whole orchestra of tiny violins. They don't help us. But what I am saying is that it's just seeing these things on repeat over and over again is just really something. And I, and for some of our people, we still want to make up things. Like, I saw a couple of comments where people saying that, it kind of seemed like they forced them to do it, and he didn't have a choice and all this other stuff. You're making up things that you really don't know yourself, because you really don't want to believe it. But as I said in previous videos or whatever, this is Hollywood. Okay, this is Hollywood. What our focus should be on is our own households, not these people in Hollywood, not the people in the sports industry. This, focus on your own, what you can control, what's part, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things that we need to focus on. But even people like that, and like I said, Denzel Washington especially is someone who has made many comments and statements regarding, being a person of character and why integrity is so important and all this other stuff. But then he goes off and does this. And so I was like, oh, well. So we're living definitely in a time of great exposure to a number of things. And we just have to understand that, and like I said, again, I'm always telling people, focus on your own house, because outside of your home, you can't really control that. And people are out here are just going to be themselves, and we're going to see more and more of that. So it's someone's extreme said, don't give me he said, don't give me it's art crap either. Exactly. Don't, because I know that's what's going to happen. You know this is what's going to happen. That, oh, well, it's expression, because I get it. Like I said, again, I do get it that he was portraying a character in in Rome or whatever. And, Rome, that's how they got down and all that other stuff. But you was also portraying a black man in, what's the movie? The Pelican Brief, but you drew the line and said, I ain't kissing a white woman. So it's art now, but that one, okay. All right. Anyway, let me move on. Yeah, let's not even go there with that. But anyway, let's move on. Next thing here, let's talk about it here. Let's see, what did I have? Don't tell me I moved over the wrong one. Oh, here we go. I just heard about this one. LaMelo, was it LaMelo? I think it was LaMelo. I can't play this video here. I'm not going to play this video here, but I'll just show you it because they'll probably try to come after me on it. All right. I know, right? RJ said Malcolm X himself. Exactly. This dude played Malcolm X. Anyway, LaMelo Ball, all right, he made a comment. And it's a shame. I can't even, because YouTube is constantly scanning our videos, constantly. And they just today, I got a notification about some video I did a while back, and they said it's some copyright stuff on there or whatever. So anyway, so they're constantly even with lives, YouTube, the AI software, it's constantly taking every word I say, not just me, but anybody, and they're scanning it. And so you have to be very careful on this plantation, when you're talking. But anyway, LaMelo Ball plays for the NBA. He was giving his take on, a certain play in the game. And he said the word no HMO. All right. I'll spell it out for you. He was like such and such, such, and he said no HOMO. All right. So I'll let you, your brain put that together. Okay. That's all he said. That's kind of like what, I memean, when you hear what in the full sentence of what he was saying, it was kind of funny, but I got what he was saying, and and they just kept it moving, and that's it. I mean, that's not something I say, but I've heard plenty of people say, you just keep it moving, that's it, right? Well, the NBA really didn't like that, and so the NBA, because he said that, the NBA, I'm pulling it up on the screen for you right now, they fined him $100,000. That's right. The NBA fined him $100,000. They said Charlotte Hornets guard LaMelo Ball has been fined $100,000 for making an offensive and derogatory comment in a post-game interview. It was announced today by Joe Dumars, executive vice president, head of basketball operations. Ball's comment occurred following the Hornets' 115-114 win over Milwaukee Bucks on November the 16th at Spectrum Center. So they fined him $100,000 for saying that. But what's funny is I've listened to live NBA games. I've heard them say nigga, 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 nigga. I've heard them say that all the time. And it's interesting that they don't get fined for that, but this is you get a fine for. So I wanted to point that out because I want you to see that this is how hard they're going after. When we talk about this gender thing, as I was talking about in the video I did about some of the things that we need to focus on in 2025, you may not take that serious, but there are people out there that are taking this whole thing, this gender thing, extremely serious. And we have to, as individuals, we got to make sure that we're seeing it the same way, if not more, meaning serious. In other words, these people out here now, they're policing words now. And here you got a case here where you got a black man now that's being fined $100,000 because he said something offensive towards them. But these same people can say whatever about us, or we can say some derogatory things on each other, and there's no standard at all. Unfortunately, many of our people will dismiss a lot of these expressions as what's the word? It not colloquialism. It's these are friendly expressions. That's basically, I'll just leave it at that. Oh, it's a term of endearment. That's the word I was looking for. It's just a term of endearment. If I call you a B, it's a term of endearment. If I call you, it's just a term of endearment. We can say it, but you can't say it. And so it's so funny that if we say something against them, and when I say them, I'm talking about the system, the one that the system protects. If we say something to them, they will fine your behind, in this case, $100,000. But if we say something against, that's really derogatory against each other, nothing happens. Or if someone from the system, the protected class, says something derogatory towards us, the most we can do is tweet, and retweet, and that's it. But nothing ever happens. It's just, again, these are things to think about. Anyway, let's move on here. Here's a video here that I came across of, this is a black woman again, this is I shared a story a while back of a black woman who was going to a massage therapist. I think it was like in North Jersey somewhere, and she said this is her quiet place. This is like her little safe space that she always goes to and all of that. Well, anyway, long story short, one day she goes in there and, you got to strip down, you can go to the male side or you go to the female side. Well, it's a woman, so she goes to the female side. She goes to the female side and she is greeted by Mr. Wiener with breasts. And so she was like, hold on, and freaked out, understandably so. She went to go tell the people who ran the operation, and they were like, well, it's a tranny. Well, we can't really do nothing about it. It's a tranny. And so she was just all in tears and everything else about it. But this is what these people were voting for, right? This is what they're voting for. I told you, you vote for this, it's going to come and slap you back in the behind. But you're so caught up in the colorism stuff, you just not thinking. All right. And here's another example of that. OK, this is a black woman here. I want you to listen to what her experience. And this is a college age young lady. Let me get this up on the screen here.
But when I was coming to.
Here we go. Let me get it up here. I just want to make sure it's queued up. Take a listen and watch.
From my spot to get my clothes and stuff like that, I was slowly noticing a repeated bathroom seat being left up, and obviously I don't use the bathroom like that, so it was leaving red flags in my head. But me being kind of naive, I just assumed that I had been assigned a female roommate and she maybe had a male, like a boyfriend or something, that was occupying the space and he was careless, but I was wrong. So I received confirmation of my biologically male roommate because I saw that person. We came out of the room at the same time, and I just got a glimpse of him. It was a man who was clearly like trying to go through like the trans, male to female transition, but obviously he hadn't done it all the way. So when I saw that person, I was just like taken aback by the fact that they assigned this person to me. And what basically slapped me into reality was when I reached out to my housing manager, and I'm asking, like, why did y'all assign me a biological male roommate? That something must have went wrong. And the lady called me and told me that, yeah, we had to assign him a female roommate because he identifies as a woman.
Well, there you go. I mean, and that's sad. I don't, this is exactly the stuff we're talking about that our black women are going to face. This is the new reality. And like I said, again, however you feel about Trump or whatever, but I do wholeheartedly agree with them when it comes to this particular topic. Again, if you are a man and you want to put a dress on, then that's you. Put on a dress or whatever and live your life. If you're a woman and you want to carry on as a man, that's you. Nobody really cares like that. And then vice versa. But it's when this is being forced upon people to accept, like this young lady here, who is she's in college, she's in her dorm that she paid for, and now you being greeted by that, and she has no choice. How would you like your daughter? You getting a call from your daughter who's at college, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm rooming with a man/woman." How would that make you feel? Well, better yet, how would that make her feel about that? See, it's all nice and good and all that when you're looking at from a distance. But when it hits you in your home, when it hits you in your face, and then it's all something different, ain't it? But these are the issues that people who avoided, who saw what Kamala and those on that side were pushing, and people said, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. That's not something we want to continue to progress in that direction. There are a lot of people who put their foot down on it. There's colleges and universities right now, I've already talked to you about, of young women that saying, no, we ain't going down like that. And this has nothing to do with Trump. It has everything to do with, listen, that's not the direction that we want this society to go in. And that should be respected. But like I said again, black women are going to be the ones that are going to feel the impact on this the most, but they don't realize it. I'm just saying, it's cute when as black women, for example, you may have your girlfriends, and then you always got to have one or two gay guys that's with you and all that. See, that's all cute and all that. I like hanging out with them because I don't have to worry about him, liking me and all this other stuff. And then we do nails together. It's fun and all that. So it's like a brother, but it's like a girlfriend. It's kind of weird. See, that's all cute and all that stuff. But see, when you trying to get a job, and it's down to this same dude that you were doing nails with and they go with him because now all of a sudden he wants to declare that he's a woman. Now what? You still girlfriends now? I'm just saying. So these are the things that, again, we got to draw the line on this foolishness. It's just what it is. Anyway, let's move on here. Let's see. Share that. Was there something else? And then we're going to get into our main thing. Like I said, again, this broadcast will not be long tonight. Again, let me go to here. Hold on. Let's go to my channel here. Here we go. Let's go to community. I said go to community. All right. Hold on back. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to hit the community button. There we go. All right. Here we go. All right, just a reminder again, like I said, again, we are going to later on this evening, once it's completed and it's uploaded, I'll put a notification. I'll post it here on the community page here so you'll know about it. We're going to continue our series that we've been on, over on our long form history channel. Right here is called The Black Church, A Factory of Broken Children. And that's part 1. That's already up. Part 2, I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to do that and post that. It's going to be late tonight. But once it's up, I will let you know. Okay. So without getting too much into it. So this right here, for example, I posted it and I didn't see I didn't get too many likes on this, but it is what it is. I said, what mature able-bodied adult goes to another able-bodied adult to be fed? Think about it. Every Sunday, all across America and really all over the world, people say, I go to this church because this is the place I'll get fed. I get spiritually fed here. I like this man of God because, he feeds me. I mean, when you stop to think about that, that's just something that just hits kind of different now when you really start thinking about it. So I want you to really think about it. If anything, it should cause you to take some pause on that. What grown person goes to another grown person to get fed? Think about that. Well, Dwayne, it's just an expression. Yeah, but that expression no. You go there to get fed. Well, he's the shepherd. Well, if he's the shepherd, that makes you a sheep. And sheep are usually referred to as dumb. That sheep don't even know better. That's typically, isn't that the irony of all this stuff? You describing yourself as a sheep? Anyway, I'm getting way too far on that one. Way too far. We've talked about this. I'll get into that again soon. But anyway, so that was what I posted. And then this one here, I posted, I said, son, think of me as a mother hen or a mother who carried you in her womb. And the little boy is like, huh? Okay. And here's the references I get that from. This is, again, when we did a video, well, that's right. I did put that. That was for the research group. The research group, I posted a video. Where is it? Here it is. I posted this video. I don't know if everybody sees like the thumbnail for this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I posted this video. It says, is the Bible God too gendered? Now, I've talked about this topic before, but but I wanted to do another video on that. And what we did is we actually went through different scriptures in the Bible where the writers basically wrote him like that. Okay. And this ain't like, oh, you just trying to look for that stuff. No. Once you go into the actual history of the people who put together the Bible, the culture that it was written in and all that other stuff, you're going to see that culture's values and how they viewed deities and God all in the Bible. And that's what we were going through. That's what some of the things we address over on the long form history channel that we have. But in this particular series that we're talking about how the Black church is a factory of broken children, we're trying to get to the nitty gritty. We're trying to get to the molecular level as to why is it that we see so many young men that are coming out of this system that are leaning towards homosexuality. Why are we seeing so many of our women coming out leaning in the lesbian direction or being at least open to that? Why are we seeing so many? Why do we see so many more women in the church than men? We talk about these things all the time, but we don't take the time to we got to get into the molecular level to understand why it is what it is. And it's not difficult. You just have to be willing to go and look at the actual history. You understand what I'm saying? And then once you go to the history, then you see, oh, I see why it's like this. Now I understand why there's more women in the church than men. And we talked about that when you look at Greek and Roman culture. In their temples, it was mostly women that was running. Anyway, we talk about that. Okay, that's what we get into. And the church the church system has adopted. You can't have the church system without Greek culture. You can't have the church system without Roman culture. All right. So once you begin to see and understand that, now you'll begin to understand all of this stuff. Why are, like topics like why are, there is a significant amount of cases of abuse within this system. I'm talking about sexual abuse. Why is there so much of that? Well, again, you got to go back to the history, and that's what we're doing over there on long form. And that's what we're going to talk about in this next video that we're going to release later on tonight. Okay. So just be on the lookout for that. We'll get into it. Like I said, I know for some of you that's hard, difficult, or whatever, but it's true. Okay. So anyway, let's move on here. So tonight, main topic here, real quick here. Like I said, again, we're not going to talk too much on this one, is this whole notion that somehow that we as Black people, we have to focus on getting more and more Black people in high places. And as I said earlier, Martin Luther King, he said it. If anything, what he said was truth. Well, and it was a dream that he had. I mean, this is what he said. He said that he wants to live in a country where his children are being judged not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And we say this all the time. We repeat that part of his sermon so many times, but we don't really, it's the one part of his sermon that just goes over people's heads. Judging people by the content of their character. This is like the focal thing that we talk about here on this platform. Remember a while back we talked about, I said this whole vision that a lot of us as Black people have, that there's going to be this day where all Black people are just going to all unite and we're all going to come together and we're just going to become into this one big Black Voltron. You're going to have to get that out of your head. Let me just help you out. You're going to have to get that out of your head. I'm not saying that Black people will never work together, because there are too many examples where we do work together. All right. But not at the level or at the magnitude that you think you are envisioning. And that ain't happening. It's not happening because there's no solid system in place to filter out the ones that don't need to be there in the first place. Do you understand what I'm saying? So until that happens, you're never going to get to that. You don't look for mass like that. You got to look at, so what we told people, what we've been telling people is, listen, you got to focus on building your own small networks. All right. And when I say small networks, I'm talking about it may just be a few people, and focus just on that. And then I said, let's take it the next step further. Those few people, not all of them not all of them will be Black. In your little network, you're going to have some Hispanic people. You may have some white people. You may have some Asian people. I'm just trying to tell you, If you're trying to go ahead, you're going to link up with people who have a shared interest that you have and share the same value system, have the same similar goals, and have proven themselves that, hey, listen, we got each other. And those are the people who move ahead. That's how you look. But if you're just, hey, listen, you, all the black people, I'm rooting for everyone that's black. If that's your mindset and that's how you're operating, then I hate to tell you that it's over the long period of time, you're going to fail. It's just it. And that's not just with black people. That's white people. That's Asian people, all people. So we have to really begin to be realistic about that. Here's just a couple examples that I just wanted to share with you very quickly that's just been right in our faces. This is one of many. Look at Obama. Look at Obama. Obama was a black face in a high place. After 8 years, black people couldn't stand him. Gee, I wonder why. Because they were looking at the color of his face, but not the character. Character didn't matter. When you start bringing up some of the inconsistencies in his past and all of that stuff, what were people saying? Shut up. This is going to be our only opportunity to have a black face in a high place. And then we finally got one and we saw what happened. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, now you're confused. Now you just don't understand. And then you would have thought that many black people would have learned from that and said, you know what? Next time is going to be different. Well, next time came. Now you got an Indian woman who's pretending to be black. And she said point blank that she ain't doing nothing specific for black people. But then there was all these other inconsistencies in her past. Anybody bringing that up, then you're a coon, you're Uncle Tom, and, how dare you bring this up? And all, it was all of that. We were not allowed to look at the content of her character. You know why we weren't allowed? Because we didn't allow ourselves to do that. And it's the same thing that's practiced in the church all the time. How many preachers and pastors get away with all kinds of stuff, but what overrides all of that is, well, hey, listen, he feeds us every Sunday. He's always there feeding us, and I'm willing to open myself up and let him just feed me until I want no more, and he's just a faithful man to God, and so you just overlook all of that, but you say to hell with your character. We don't care about that. Look at Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant can literally run through as many women as he wants, and his church will still be packed with women throwing money at him. So it's about character. Anyway, someone said, yeah, you can put John Lewis on that list too. Yeah, John Lewis, he was a trip too. Anyway, so let's take a look at some of these examples, more recent examples here. So as you know, the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, he's still catching it from black folks in that city. He's still catching it. Take a listen to this. It's an angry Chicago residents blasted Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposed $300 million property tax hike as a way to cover costs for dealing with migrants that have flooded the city over the past year. A heated city council meeting culminated in a unanimous rejection of the plan after locals expressed their fury in vicious outbursts at the mayor inn. The furious residents accused Johnson, who had been branded the country's most hated mayor, Jesus, of prioritizing undocumented immigrants over the city's own citizens and resents paying more in property tax. And then it goes on. This has been an ongoing thing. Black people now. We used to say, oh, well, he ain't the first black mayor, but we got another black mayor. We got another black face in a high place. Well, here's one in a high place, and they can't stand the man. He got up there and told black people, what cheek do you want to kiss? Because while you doing that, I'm going to hand out millions of dollars. I'm going to hand out millions of dollars to these immigrants that are coming in this country illegally. But we got a black face up in a high place. This is what I'm talking about. I'm just going through some examples here. These are just quick examples here. Here's another example that came up this time in Detroit. Here we go in Detroit. Former Detroit Riverfront Conservancy CFO William Smith admits he stole at least $44.3 million. Let's take a listen at what she's saying here. I think this is the city attorney or something like that. Take a listen to what she's saying and how she's describing it.
I really enjoy the riverfront. I walk it myself, and so I know the value that it brings to this community. And so today, Mr. Smith took the first step at accepting responsibility for what he knows is what he did. And so we are thankful for that. But the scale and scope of it is quite frankly astonishing. And $40 million. Mr. Smith used it for his own personal gain, for his own real estate interests, for his personal businesses. But a large portion of it was just used to live a very lavish lifestyle. Trips for his families on first class airplanes, private planes, clothing, and other things, all at the expense of the people who were really working hard to beautify a riverfront that has been recognized as the best riverfront in America. And so the impact not only to the donors who wanted to help build that conservancy, but also to the people who were carrying out that goal, has really had a significant impact on their morale. And I told them today, what you do is good. What you do is to help better this place for other people and bring some loveliness to this area.
It's immeasurable, and the impact that has had on this community. But one thing that I will say is that we are strong. We are resilient. Our team is standing here today. I was at a dinner last night with 60 plus of our volunteers that have registered more volunteer hours this year than any other year before. All of our events this year were record attendance. So we are an incredibly resilient group. We are an incredibly resilient community. So yes, the impact of this has been devastating, but we must push forward. We must persevere.
Now, Detroit, as you know, is a city that has seen a lot, is going through a lot. And, because of, with all the industries, manufacturing, leaving that city, it just left that city in a huge vacuum. A lot of black residents there who were there, they've just kind of been in limbo. The city is just living in a mere shadow of itself. Right. And so there has been little beams of light coming in the last decade or so of people, saying, hey, listen, I want to breathe some new life into this. I see this as an opportunity. Let's put ourselves together. Let's buy some of these homes. I'm talking black folks. I'm talking white people, whatever, that are buying some of these homes that are being listed for like on dirt cheap, and wanting to turn this city around and make it into something beautiful. And so in this story here, this man here, this is him right here, CFO William Smith, this is him right here, and took money that was set aside for this project at a tune of $44.3 million and used it for himself. He just gave a whole middle finger to all these people in the city. It says here, Detroit former Riverfront Conservancy CFO William Smith faces up to 20 years in federal prison after pleading guilty Friday to stealing at least $44.3 million that was supposed to revitalize the city industrial riverfront, one of the largest and most lucrative criminal schemes in Detroit's history. And see, y'all nobody come in my comments, please, with someone had a gun to his head and, the CIA bent his arm back. See, you still don't want to accept the fact that there are people who look like you that hate you. I don't understand why that's so hard to accept that. But it happens. Smith, 52, admitted to U.S. District Judge Susan DeClercq that he orchestrated a 12-year-long scheme that involves stealing money from the nonprofit and funneling the funds through one of his companies before prosecutors said he spent the money buying luxury homes, real estate in 2 countries, jewelry, plane flights for NBA, minor league, and amateur basketball players, and more. The money was transferred via wire transfer for my own personal use, Smith told the judge after taking a deep breath and rapidly reading a prepared statement. And then it goes on saying that he's going to be sentenced. Black faces and high places do not equal what you think it does. All right. All right. Here's one more example here. Looking at my time. Okay, I told y'all I'm gonna get y'all out of here. I'm gonna get y'all out of here real quick tonight. What was that? That was on YouTube. Okay, YouTube. All right. Let me go to this video here for our people down in Texas. This, I don't know if you guys have been following this. Have you guys heard about this cheating scandal that has going down in Texas? Sorry, y'all. Hold on.
Clothes and stuff like that. I was
hold on, y'all. Let me
slowly noticing.
I got you, sis. Okay, hold on. Let me get this tuned up here. This is a cheating scandal that is going down in Texas. I've been following this one here. Let's just go ahead, instead of me telling you about it, I'll let them tell you about it. Okay, let's go ahead and get it on the screen and let's take a listen. Hold on.
I'm Daniela Guzman.
And I'm Keith Garvin. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry was there and has more on the fourth arrest now connected to this case.
Former HISD educators trying to avoid the cameras Friday as they answered a serious allegations of a years-long statewide scheme. The two on the left out on bond, on the right now with a lower bond.
This is a serious case because it involves education. We all know that a community is strong when the education system is strong.
They're all three accused of helping teacher applicants pass certification exams, ending up in classrooms across the state without ever taking the test. This is who's who in this case. Former Booker T. Washington basketball coach Vincent Grayson is the accused ringleader, and according to prosecutors, he made more than $1 million in this scheme because the teacher applicants would pay him $2,500 to have someone else sit in their seat to pass the exam. Then these two assistant principals are also charged. LaShonda Roberts there on the left is accused of recruiting teachers, and Nicholas Newton on the right is accused of taking more than 400 tests on behalf of teacher applicants. Then we've got Darian Wilhite and Tywana Mason. She's not yet in custody, but they're the test proctors accused of taking bribes and then turning a blind eye to let all of this happen. What would your message be to people who have lost trust in Coach Grayson?
My message would be what my father would say. I'm a product of a father who was a minister, who was a principal, who had to drive the bus when people didn't show up. He would tell us not to throw him away, but to reclaim him. And so we hope at the right period of time, if it becomes that the evidence is overwhelming, he would do it as all of us should do, accept responsibility and rebuild. But at this stage, we're not there yet.
Grayson's defense team standing by his side as the well-respected basketball coach, now alleged kingpin, faces up to 99 years behind bars. Overnight, a fourth arrest in the scheme of testing coordinator Darian Wilhite, accused of accepting $250 cash payments from Grayson each time she'd let Newton test in an applicant's place.
I know everyone is concerned and should be concerned about that. But let me just say this, too, that the state has the burden of proving their case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Prosecutors say their case relies on bank records and confessions from approximately 20 teachers who benefited. But so far, we still don't know who those teachers are or what school districts they work in, as the Texas Education Agency promises to pursue appropriate action against any educator involved. Bryce Newberry, KPRC2 News.
Now, what this story did, what they left out was, trying to get this thing. Hold on, let me turn this off for it. Okay. What this story left out was the fact that this scheme, it was a couple of things. What they're saying is they're saying that at least 200 people, teachers, at least 200. I want to make sure you hear what I'm saying to you. I want to make sure you hear what I'm saying to you, okay? Let me say it again. I want to make sure you hear what I'm saying to you. They are saying that at least 200 teachers went through this whole little scheme. Because, as a teacher, you got to take the certification. I don't care, most states, that's a requirement, right? You got to take certification. At least 200 teachers. And I think we can kind of guesstimate what the demographics of those teachers were based off of all the ringleaders. 200 teachers who basically wanted to go around the standard that was set for them to go through. This is the standard. You want to be a teacher? Here's the standard. Everyone's got to go to this standard. They said, blank you, we don't want that standard. And so that happened, right? And so the other thing that wasn't mentioned in that particular story, they said at least two people in that group, they had been flagged already that they ain't supposed to be around minors. They weren't even supposed to be around minors. But somehow, because you got the hookup, they're in the classrooms right now. They got full access to minors when they're not even supposed to be in the classroom or anywhere near children. They're not even supposed to be, but they found out about this hookup, and now they're there. Like I said, black faces in high places, it doesn't equal what you think it is. It is a failed policy that we have as a people. Because again, I'm going to remind you again of what MLK said. He wants to live in a country where people are, his children are judged not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. Now, this is just in Texas, but this happens all over. There was another case. I want to say there was Nigerians. They had a huge scandal where they were coming to this country and literally setting up schools that they were just passing, it's a whole network where they would come over here and they would get their certification, whatever, nursing certification. And then they would take that back, and they would just pay someone a bunch of money and then go back to wherever, to back to Africa. And so in Africa, they think, oh man, you got yours from America, so you must be whatever. But no, they weren't certified. I mean, they weren't officially certified. They were paying somebody off. There's another video that I have, on the list I'm going to do is this whole PhD nonsense. There's a school in particular that I have in mind right now that I'm about to just go in on them. They're based in Atlanta. And this school, they have a strategy where they basically are automatically handing out PhDs to all of these influencers. They're literally just handing them out. Black influencers. So you got different ones. There's someone from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they got a PhD. Because this school, that's all they do. They just hand them out to different ones. And even in the black church, this is what you have. A lot of these people who are called PhDs, they're not PhDs, what you think they are. It's a title to impress you and to get them into places that they normally couldn't because they're a bunch of freaking losers. Only a loser would do something like that. Why the heck would I want a PhD if I didn't earn it? Why would I want that? Like, I don't know. Because things like that, honestly, it doesn't even impress me. That none of that is, I'm just that kind of person. I guess it just never impressed me. Now, if someone, if you earned it and you did the work and you put all those years in it, okay, then that's good. You know what I'm saying? Good for you. But to go to this extent where I got to put PhD or, when I was in the Hebrew stuff, don't call me Dwayne. Make sure you address me as Moray. You know what I mean? I'm Moray. I'm not just Dwayne. I'm Moray. In the church, I never wanted to get to that point, but don't call me Dwayne. I'm pastor. I'm reverend. What's going on here? I'm reverend. Don't you dare. You better dress me right. What's going on in my lighting? Anyway, hold on for a sec. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, Yeah, but I never, absolutely never was like that. But a lot of people are impressed by that kind of stuff. So anyway, so I talked about that. So those are just a few examples that I wanted to give you there of what we're talking about when it comes to this whole ideology that we've adapted and believe that somehow just because you have a black face in a high place, that somehow they're going to have your best interests at heart. Because that as long as you are in the system, can you hear me? Do y'all understand what I'm saying to you? The system itself is corrupt and is designed to put out corrupt product. You understand what I'm saying? This is exactly how we're looking when we're analyzing the black church. But it ain't just the black church, it's the church, period. That's white people, that's Asian or whatever. We're looking at the system. The system is just, if I go to the Hershey's company, right? And I say, you know what, doggone it, I'm gonna take over the Hershey's factory. And I said, I got all your assembly lines. I'm taking over this whole factory. What would I look like getting angry that I said, okay, I took over it. Tomorrow I'm expecting 10,000 TVs to be loaded on that truck, on those trucks. What kind of fool would I be to expect that? The entire system in the Hershey's factory is tuned and geared to do one thing, and that is to make chocolate bars and to make chocolate candies. It's not designed to put out TVs. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of us, we look at government and think that it's designed to put out love for black people. This is what I'm talking about. You look at government and think that the output of the government system is to put out love for black people. You still 400 plus years later and you still expecting that. You still at the end of the assembly line and waiting for a kiss. Got your hand out. Technology done been passed you by. They done been told you we ain't giving you nothing, and you still out there. The church system is no different. You're expecting something, you still got your hand out, and it's the same thing over and over again. So we have to look at, wait a minute, we got to look at this system here. We at the wrong factory. You understand what I'm saying? We sitting at a car factory expecting them to put out furniture for my home. No, that's not what they do. So it doesn't matter who you put in these places, Denzel, whomever, it doesn't matter. As long as they are part of the system, they're going to put out what the system was designed to do. And that is a bunch of mess. That's what it's designed to do. There's really nothing else I need to say or to add to that as we're closing up shop right now. And that's it. So I really hope you get that. I hope you understand that. And I hope if I got to be on repeat on this over and over again, I'll do it. But we have to stop being impressed with seeing black faces in high places and thinking that somehow that means that somehow you're going to move ahead because of it, because it doesn't work that way. All right. So that's all I have, y'all. I'm going to take a short break here, and then I'm going to get to work on that second installment of that series that I was just telling you about earlier in the broadcast. Again, the Black Church, a factory of broken children. And we're going to get into that, and I will post on the community page. I'll let you know, when it's up and all of that. So you can check that out at your own leisure. You guys been liking those. I'm trying to pull it up for you on the community page. I've been back at the my animated gift thing. Let me get it up here. I know y'all really like that little baby. I like her too. Someone asked me, I know it was an older person. They were like, is that an AI baby? I said, no, it's a real baby. I said, this is my niece. She fell asleep in the back seat. I told her, I said, I'm just playing. Oh yeah, I already talked to you about that. Caillou, that cartoon. They're pushing that agenda too. Here's another one here we did. Yeah, this stuff, man, it's looking realer and realer. It's, we just want to, I'm using it to emphasize the things we should be focused on, and that is our husbands, our wives, and our children. That's when I'm emphasizing using this technology when I'm posting it on here. So anyway, it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad you're here with me, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care, and I will see you again soon. All right, take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.